Welcome to Green Treasure to discover the art of landscape and home gardening. This tutorial is about landscape design, design consideration, and various tools or elements of a design. What's landscape design? It is the art of arranging various elements of a design, the elements which we will discuss, to create a good outdoor space. It depends upon the needs, desires of the user, and the conditions of the site. The aim of the landscape design is to ensure a visually pleasing, functional, and ecologically healthy design. If you will see, because of the landscape, there is a contrast. This is when it was before, and then after using the elements of the design, you have after here. The design is created here. So this is a beautiful comparison how landscape design plays a part in changing the outdoor space into a good outdoor space and also making it visually pleasing. Landscape designer considerations. Whenever you have to go for a design, a landscape designer will always consider first the land, what is the type of a land, how much is the land, and style of your home, because it will be next to your home, what is the overall environment, and what are the color and the seasonal preferences you would like to have, and what types of plants you would like to have, both perennial, annual, and different types of the plants, and what is the needs of the user. So these are the considerations which a designer always takes into consideration and then ultimately go for a design layer. What are the elements of a landscape design? The elements of a design which are also named as features. Now, when you have to make a perfect balance of these features, that will bring the harmony to the space. The features or the elements, or it's named as referred as tools, include the line, form, texture, color, and visual weight. See, these are some of the elements which are used here in design layout. They can be lines, they can be different forms of plants, and these will be discussed one by one. First of all, we will discuss the line. Line as a feature of a design. Line as an element. It acts as the backbone of a landscape design, and it will create all forms and patterns. It's used in variety of ways in a landscape. Lines are powerful tool for the design. It creates a sense of direction or a movement, because it is with these lines it will direct a visitor, it will direct your view, and also it will act as a arrow in a garden. So landscape designer uses lines to create patterns. Different types of lines are drawn on a design. They determine the physical and the emotional response of a user, because lines are being used to develop the spaces, make them as pleasing, and to create different forms in a garden, to control movement within the garden, and establish a dominance. That means when you have a strong line, continuous lines, they stand out and guide the eye, so they become main feature that organize the space. That means it can have a dominance, and lines can also create a cohesive theme in a landscape. Lines give us a unifying idea that guides consistent choices in plants, material, forms, and colors, so that whole space feels intentional and connected. So that means it is because of the lines you will develop a space, you will create different forms within a garden, you will control a movement, and you will establish a dominance in the area, create a cohesive theme in a landscape, so that it becomes whole space feels intentional and connected. Different types of lines. First is the straight lines. It is structural and forceful. They read as man-made edges, and they will work as an arrow, will show direction, and they will steer viewers towards the main subject. Suppose you have different lines. You are making lines on the beds, or you are making lines along the path, and they will be in such a way that they will focus. Their focus will be the focal point. That focal point can be a bench or a fountain, which will which will lead a visitor to that point. So naturally lead the eye directly to a focal point. It is when you create such lines in a landscape. They signal human order, because lines are always ordered. It will make an area as an organized structure and give space a designed character because of the lines. Suppose it will convey formality because it guide the eye directly to the focal point. Like you have straight paths, you have aligned edges, and when you are taking the lines into consideration, it is always associated with a symmetrical design. That means in symmetry, you will have on both the sides the mirror aspects. Symmetry reinforce balance and highlight the main feature. If you have a path, a central path, on the two sides of the path, you have the features, but ultimately it will be in a symmetrical manner. And your idea is to lead the viewer to a focal point. That focal point can be a bench, that focal point can be a fountain. So we have lines which can be hardscape lines, hardscape edges, which will be of material edges or material. There can be a central pathways in avenues, internal edges can be there, outer hedges can be there, and there can be striped lines. So these are different types of lines in a landscape. As you will see here, the striped lines, these lines ultimately lead to a one focal point. That focal point is this tree. This tree can be a fountain. This tree can be a bench, because as an eye, you are moving through these lines and you reach to this point. Same way here, the lines have been created in such a way, it creates some movement, and the eye is moving, you are a viewer is moving directly. So these are the creations of the lines. You are creating different lines in a garden, and then they are being done with the softscape, and these are the different lines and the patterns which ensures the the area is organized, and the area is pleased, and the area gives a good look, and it also acts as a helps in the movement or the direction of a visitor. Bottle palm, or they can be also uh, coconut palm, which are here. That is softscape vertical lines, or there can be hardscape vertical lines, and which can be tall structures such as poles, pillars, statues, bird house on a pole. So these are hardscape vertical lines that will take your eye up. So it is these are used in such gardens where you have to give a space that the large space can feel as a compact. Then are the horizontal lines. Horizontal lines suggest a lateral movement. They move the eye along the ground plane. Suppose this is a horizontal line, you move along with this. Suppose this is a horizontal line, you move along this. It will can make a compact space feel larger. Now suppose this is one area which has been made with horizontal lines and repeated horizontal lines. If you move in an area and you are walking with these horizontal lines, can make a compact space feel larger, because you are moving in the same space so many times, and it is you are feeling a space is very larger. It is specially divided especially divide a space into clear layers or bands, and when they run continuously, they tie a space together. So this is how it will look as a visual unit. These are because of the horizontal lines. Low lines are created by low garden walls, bed lines, walkways, and short hedges. So this is how horizontal lines, they suggest a lateral movement, and they will move the eye along the ground plane, unlike that of the vertical lines which take the eye to a skyward. Lines are used to draw forms on a plan. There are three primary line types: flower bed lines, hardscape lines, and plant lines or softscape lines. Flower bed lines include flower bed edges. You have flower beds which will have an edge over it, that will be a bed edge. Flower bed lines. It will shape the garden space, straight or they can be curved. Hardscape lines include the paths, walls, decks, and are strong structural, made from stones and other building materials. Plant lines, they include hedges, rows, trees that can frame the segments and it guide the viewers. If you will see this map, here you will find one line, it is written here is the sword line. A sword line is basically a visible edge of a lawn, the boundary where turf grass or sward meets beds, paths, acts as a design line. So this sword line is one where a turf and a bed is intersected. Or you can have a hardscape line here. You can have a path line here. You can have a hardscape line here. And externally you can have a fence line which is covering the whole area. So different lines are being made. Primarily they are of two types. One is the flower bed lines which you are making on the beds, and the second is you are making the hardscape lines, and then the third is the plant lines which are making the frames. So this is how a path line can look like. You are making different segmented and it is the path line. Or if you will see this green layer which is with the pavement, or which is from the separates the bed from this is called the sword line. This is the sword line which is segmenting the sword or the lawn grass, turf grass. And these are some of the lines which are used for garden design. After the line there is a form. A form is a shape or a visual structure of a thing created by an outline on a design that encloses a space. So form is now a outline, and it is in the form of a visual structure. It is a powerful tool because people can often recognize and identify a feature based on an outline. An outline which is dark, outlined, gives a semblance of a shape, so a person can recognize. It can be a tree, it can be a path, it can be any. So that is a form. So it is a dominant visual element that organizes the landscape. So when you put it on a design with different forms, you understand what will be the pattern of a landscape. It is found in both hardscape and softscape. You have the forms in a hardscape, you have in a softscape also. It determines the overall form, theme of the garden. What types of garden you have, what types of trees it should have. So it is formal. It will have a formal thing. It can be geometric forms can be there. That includes there can be circles, there can be squares, there can be polygons. So different forms are available for a designer, which can be circles, which can be squares, which can be polygons. What are the circles first? Circles can be full circles. It can be half circles. It can be circle segments, and it can be combined with lines to create arcs and tangents. Circles can also be stretched into ovals or ellipses. Or circles are a strong design form, and eye is always drawn to the center. So circle is always focused at the center, and you can always, when a circular thing is there, its focal point will be the center. Circle can be used to emphasize a focal point and connect other forms with it. Circle is an important tool, and it can be here. Different circles can be together, or it can be created this way, circular. So you have a plan here, design plan. This is the house, this is the lawn. So pool is there. This can be a circular thing, or these are the different types of, or the beds which can be circular here. So these are the circles which are used in hardscape as well as in lawn panels. Or you have here a lawn which is circular lawn. So this is how it looks here, and there can be a pool, and the pool can be created this way, which is also circular here. So these are the uses of circles in a design. There are squares also. Squares are used for a variety of features. They can be used for stepping stones, bricks, tiles, and timber structures. So easy form to work with for construction. Square form can also be segmented, can be repeatedly used to create a grid pattern, or a stronger on the edges. They can be overlapped to create a unique pattern, and with the pattern they can be used to form complex forms. As you know, square which has on all the sides the same size on four sides. Also, we can have stepping stones, bricks, tiles, and timber structures, which can be used in a design. So here you will see the patterns now. This is how square patterns are being used. How a graceful design they are making with these squares, or here, or how you are using these for pathways areas, or how these squares are taken in a path within a garden. So these are how squares are beautifully used to create structures, to create even complex forms, and this is how a square is used in a landscape. So this is how you are using. This can be a patio, this can be a lawn, this can be a lawn, this can be the house, and how square forms are blended. This is how a square form looks like here. So you can use circles, you can use squares, or you can use the polygons. Polygons are many-sided forms with straight edges. It can be triangles or three-sided polygons. Edges of polygons can make interesting shapes. See how they are being connected together, and how it gives the good pattern. If it is cautiously used as the form, it can be more complex. So polygons are also used for designs, and they are being used to create different forms within a lawn, within a design. There are naturalistic forms also. Meandering lines are there. Meandering lines, which are basically, these are extended curved lines made in a garden. Say they mimic basically the river or a stream. These lines often mimic the natural course, flow of rivers or streams, and smooth lines with deeply curved undulations. Meandering lines work well for pathways, plant bed lines, and dry stream beds. These are naturalistic forms. These are the lines which are mimicking certain natural courses, as this is looking like a river. So this is exactly how, or it can be made this way also. These are the meandering line. Or you can see how a meandering line is mimicking a curve. You are making the path with stones, This is basically how a meandering line is being created in nature. When a stream flows, how it takes the areas and how it looks like, and this character you are mimicking in the design. They are called as the meandering lines and are used in a design to give them a view of a stream or other things related to meandering lines. Then there are organic edges. Organic edges represents the edges of a natural material. Now you are using organic edges. There can be hedges, there can be plants, there can be foliage, and there can be rocks also. They can be rough and irregular depending upon their shape. Irregular edges of a raw garden, where you putting them. These are how you are putting these irregular in a raw garden. These forms depicts that they are the rocks in a raw garden. This is the design you are putting these types of forms there. And then it is to be done in an actual, that is when it is reflected in a garden complete design. Fragmented edges, they resemble broken pieces scattered from the edge, and such as stones or pavers. So here you will find the fragmented edges which are being used here, and they can be used in stepping stones in pathways to create gradually disappearing edge on patios or walkways. So you have example here, stepping stones in a pathway. So these are called as the organic edges. Organic edges can be a foliage, that can be a plant form, that can be the rocks, and they are being used in a design which gives a look of an organic natural lines almost. So this is how organic edges are also used in a design. These are some of the organic edges. These are some of the paths as stones, as organic edges, how they are being created in a garden. You will find different patterns here, that these patterns, or this is how a meandering line is looking like as a natural line. And these are the different pictures which are giving you a fair idea how these lines mimic the basics in a design. Thank you for joining on this garden journey. If you liked this video, hit the like button and subscribe the Green Treasure for more videos and shorts. Thank you. See you in next video.